What's up everybody, how's it going? I'm Brad Dollar, welcome to the channel, it's great to see you. In today's video, we are at Blackbird Studios here in Nashville, Tennessee, which is arguably one of the most legendary recording studios in North America, if not the world. There's nothing like coming to a real recording studio. The way it makes you feel, and the way all of this gear inspires new sounds, and most importantly, new music. So in today's video, we're going to find out exactly what a big recording studio like this is all about, what the gear sounds like, and most importantly, what happens to music when you set it free in an incredible recording environment just like this. So stick around, let's find out together. Let's go. Before we get going too far, if you can do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe and like button, I'd super appreciate it. Seriously, it does a ton to help me make videos just like this and bring you to more places like Blackbird. So thank you so much for doing that. Let's go. All right, so we're here at Blackbird and I have to give you my first impressions. I tried to get the camera out as soon as I could, but literally as soon as I walked in here, I was just wowed. You have to understand that personally, I've been making music with people for so long in environments like this. And I'm usually the one who is getting things set up and getting things ready and dialing them in and making sure that the environment is prepared for great things to transpire. So for me, it's a real treat to walk into a space and see it set up as good or better than I would do it. So that's a huge reason why it's a treat to come to a studio like this. I kind of thought when I walked in here that my 10 a.m. start time, that's when they were going to start setting up, because that's usually what happens, but that wasn't the case. Everything is patched in and there's a solid 2 hours worth of setup, and I'm just looking forward to making music. I'm not worried about things not working. I think that's a big thing when it comes to making music in any space, is you really need to create an environment that works. Having quirky gear is awesome, but just make sure it works and don't let it stop you, and especially people you're working with, from being able to get their creative ideas out. So I don't think we're gonna have any trouble with that today. So we're here in the control room. We're here in Studio D, mind you, which is I think one of the biggest studios here at Blackbird, and we're looking at an API Legacy. Now, if you're familiar with other videos on this channel, I've spent a lot of time on API Visions, both at Bob Weir's TRI Studios and at 25th Street Recording in Oakland, California. And I think this is my first time actually spending a solid day on one. It looks to be about the same as a Vision. It looks to be set up kind of similar to layout. The routing's definitely different. There's no onboard automation. I think they're using the Martin Sound Flying Faders classic automation for this. But it's got, the same kind of inline feel. Preamps are in the same place, small fader sends. It just looks to be like, more record driven versus like the Vision, which is like for mixing in surround. But nonetheless, there's still 3 stereo buses, all of these beautiful 550 EQs and 560s. And then of course the 212 preamps, which are their 512 classic preamp, just in the 212 format. Oh, and a built-in 2500 bus compressor. Monitoring, we're looking at a pair of ATCs up there on the big mains. Those are big guys for some ATCs. I don't know what the number is. I like ATCs, I'm a barefoot junkie. I saw some down the hall, but today we'll probably rock with these. And also got a pair of Genelecs. Not the biggest fan of these, not a Tad Donnelly endorser of these.
These are the bad boys.
And of course, classic NS10s. Honestly, you could give me a pair of headphones in here and I would be super happy just to be in this space. As far as outboard gear, just a really, really nice host of Neves 1176s, stack of distressors, LA2As, 0500 rack, and then their Pultec land, the Tube Tech and the Pultec EQs. And I believe those are real Motown silver EQs down there. Here's my headphone mixer, a real analog headphone mixer, what a treat. More gear over here, effects, dreaded manly Vox box, some V72s, the Jerry Finn favorite BBE Sonic Maximizer, got a Drummer Gate, classic Eventide H3000. These John Hardy pre's are my favorite clean pre's ever. I know the Massenburgs get a lot of love, but these are my absolute favorites. API patch bays are beautiful. When you buy an API console, they come with this pre-labeled, color-coded, pre-built patch bay. And these guys are great. Here's a patch chart. Super great to walk in, there's a patch chart. Last but not least, most important thing in the control room, we have the couch. It's really cool. It looks out here into the studio, which we will head to now. All right, so now let's head into the studio. Now, one of my favorite spots in this entire building is this ISO booth we're about to walk in. It's actually a reverb chamber, and I need to make sure I don't leave here today without recording something in here. So let's go, here it goes. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to YouTube. Check, 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 check. Boom, it's like this big cement plastered space. Check. It's really smooth and it's beautiful and it's probably haunted in here. Is there a light? There's no light in here. The only light's up there. So no one's hanging out in here. This is definitely just reverb land, but that is awesome. All right, and so here's the transition into Studio D. Wow, just the feel of it. The air changed in here. It's one of the coolest things about professionally built recording studios is that the air feels different. Not just the air you're breathing, but like the pressure of the air. You can tell that it's like squeezing things a little bit. It's going to activate things and not let them die flat. Now, the room itself, for being as big as it is not super live sounding. You know, it's definitely doesn't sound like that chamber we just got out of, but it's balanced. And I think that when you feel that change in atmosphere in a space, the best ones are the balanced ones. It's really great. I'm just in one little corner of it. So on their way to the studio right now are Dani Stacy and Brad Sample. Dani's gonna be right here singing into this incredible Neumann M49, which is a real one. When I requested it, I was a little worried it was going to be like one of the newer ones, but nope, it is the real deal. But anyways, Dani is a California kid just like myself and has been making music her entire life. She recently had an incredible run on The Voice, and as you'll quickly see from hearing her, it's no surprise why she went as far as she did. And even beyond a contest show like that, her own original music is awesome and she releases it frequently, something I love. I love when artists are putting songs out all the time. She has one called Unsad that I've been spinning for weeks and weeks, but she's always got new music coming out. Definitely check out Dani Stacy, and you're gonna hear her a bunch in this video and probably some others here on my channel. And then also joining us today is my dear friend, Brad Sample. Brad is a Nashville native and one of my favorite guitar songwriters. There are a lot of great guitar players in town, but Brad is one of the few who can actually play, write, and sing, which makes a very lethal trifecta that has helped him make some incredible music. Brad often plays guitar for Colby Calais, and by sheer coincidence, since I asked Brad to come and join me on the session a couple of months ago, he has also appeared on The Voice. And so I'm not sure when this video you're watching is coming out or when you'll actually see it, but Brad is also a contestant on The Voice. So making music with anybody is spectacular. I feel like all artists, all musicians who have a song to sing, who have a part to play, there's something in there to be shared and that is worth hearing. But when the artists are excellent and they are truly focused on their craft and they're in this for the long haul, it makes a big difference. All in all, it's gonna be a great session. I'm super excited and lucky to have them here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we capture. I'll be sure to link to music for both of them below so you can go check them out. All right, before the session gets rolling, let's take a look at the gear. I essentially have Dani and Brad facing each other with a nice line of sight right ahead of me to the control room. There's a pair of mics for an acoustic guitar that Brad will bring, and if Dani decides to bring one or wants to use mine, we can always slide one over for her to use. And on Brad's vocal, we'll use a Manley reference cardioid, which is one of my all-time favorite large diaphragm tube condensers. I've also got an amp set up, which we'll use the classic Jerry Finn U87-121 combo for. The cab is a tone tubby. I'm not sure which one, it's the red one apparently. And I've got my Mesa single rectifier here. Last but not least, the room is a stereo room mic. It's one of my favorites of all time. It's a Neumann SM69, and it's kind of low right now. I might crank it up a little higher or move it back towards the reverb chamber. So the reason I picked this setup is I love tube condensers. They sound like my favorite records and they make things sound super finished super quickly. So I love that. Also artists, when they hear them, it's like really inspiring. As far as acoustic, I like a nice spaced pair on acoustic guitar. Sometimes like XY is good, but typically I roll with a spaced pair. It seems to cover things in a nice balanced way. And then 2 guitar mics, and I always ask for or keep a pair of 57s handy. You never know when these things can come in use. I also love SM57s as room mics, especially when they're real low, like super low on the floor. Thank you, Grace Coleman from Different Fur, for teaching me about that and showing me the magic of SM57s taped to the floor. I don't think we'll tape them down because everything is pretty common here today, but we'll definitely play with those as room mics as well. It's a little bit of a trashier sound, but it can allow you to compress things and get a bigger, more bombastic room sound without all the detail that like maybe a small cab would give you. It's like that becomes a little like too trashy, right? Like an SM57 is great for beating things up with. So that's the setup, and I think it's time to get going. Let's do it.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
Good, this is freaking awesome. I've never been here before.
Make yourself at home. You can put your guitar down.
Well, Dani, would you want to sing on this silly thing that I'm doing here? Well, so this song is called Time Machine. I remember writing it like 3 or 4 years ago. And I just forgot about it. And when I was looking through my phone, I saw it, and I was like, and Brad heard the voice memo and liked it.
You got any options, or is it?
Shit.
That one.
So best you make up your mind. I don't care about killing time. So this is kind of, instead of that like thing, I was thinking something like I'm working on a time machine. Something like that? Is that cool?
Vibes.
God, Brad, I love this guitar.
Run that bridge real quick then.
2, 3, 4. Something when John Henry laid that hammer down. Yeah. Watching that machine finish behind. Well, he gave him hell and shine. He just said it was rolling, so I was like, I might as well freaking go.
I
Like,
totally,
you were talking about.
I totally zoned out.
No, it's great.
But also, I'm over here like trying to find it. So whatever, he can cut the audio.
He can duck it if he needs to. I like that bridge. I like it so much. It's all the stories that they wrote. Is it all just a book of lies? 'Cause these days I'm just losing hope. That's probably my least favorite verse as far as words go.
I was gonna say, if you miss it and you feel like it closes out the song, real soft on that last verse, and don't even go to another chorus. So big chorus after that second verse.
You mean the bridgey thing?
Yes.
Okay. I wanna see it with my own 2 eyes. All the stories that they wrote, was it all just a pack of lies? 'Cause these days I've been losing hope.
I think that's nice.
Cool.
I think that's kind of a nice way to end it.
Yeah,
Personally.
love it. This feels pretty cool, right?
Dude, I wouldn't change a thing. How's the volume feel for you, Dani, over there, the guitar?
That tone sounds good to me. Is it okay coming in?
It sounds good. Okay, do you have lyrics you can send me?
Awesome.
I'm a pretty adamant, like, the bridge better fucking destroy you or don't put it in the song. Yeah. Like, that is my MO about bridges. I would rather just have a guitar solo or something else than a bad bridge. It's the killer of so many good songs. It's on the same level as the chorus. Like, that's why you do it.
When you're working on a song, how important is it to you to have the lyrics written down?
I usually like to be just a little afraid of getting the lyrics wrong, but with something like this where I haven't even thought about this song in like 2 years, I want to have a little bit of a security blanket. Yeah. Especially, it just makes a song feel really fresh and new when you're like trying to remember like the story so you remember the lyrics, when they're not so memorized that like...
You're not just singing a part, you're actually singing a song.
Yeah. For recording stuff, I like that. Obviously, once you've played it enough times live or whatever, it doesn't really matter all that much, but I like songs to feel pretty fresh and new. This one is just very fresh and new.
What if you're going to like a write? Do you come with like printed out lyrics? Do you come with like, here's my Google Drive links?
So a lot of times on writes, I'll try and listen to what they have going on, try and listen to what they're trying to do. And I usually like to come with a couple of good hooks. You know, like at least a few vibes that feel rad. Me as mostly a guitar player and writer, that's kind of the thing I feel like I can usually offer is a good feel and a good vibe. Like at least a really solid hook, maybe like a really good idea for a first verse and a good beginning to a chorus. If you get too much of the song written, it starts to feel like you've written the song, you know? I usually try and stop after like the verse is kind of established and like a chorus is starting to feel kind of cool. If I'm making a record, like specifically producing a record, I like to come with like scratch tracks, pretty well done, like acoustic guitar vocals. Sure. And I love, if you can't have it on the floor, I love doing like shaker and tambourine, like auxiliary percussion going in.
As your click track.
Yeah.
Like, did you do that on your record, your latest record?
Yeah. Probably that's been the MO for the last like 5 records that I've done. So 7, my 2 including. Everything I know we're gonna want on it, I can get that stuff out of the way. And then when you have a skeleton crew band, we have bass, drums, and guitar, and that's like it, sometimes keys, it doesn't feel like it's just bass, drums, and guitar. You know, and as long as you're confident in your engineer, it's pretty seamless.
Change the arrangement.
Yeah, if you're like need to move a turnaround around or make it twice as long or half as long or whatever. I love working that way. I know a lot of guys can either be really precious about like if something's gonna be live, they want everything to be live, or if they want to build something from the ground up, they want to build everything from the ground up.
Yeah.
I think all of it can work for me inside of the bounds of what I've been doing for the last 5 or 6 years. It's been a really easy way to get a vibe going kind of immediately for tracking.
Love that. It's nice to start with the canvas versus trying to invent the canvas as the first thing. It's like it's already let's go paint.
What are the freest things in nature?
Right. And that's the thing. It's like when, you know, I feel like a lot of times when you're recording stuff, you know, somebody will say something like, hey, keep in mind there's going to be high strung on this turnaround, or hey, keep in mind there's going to be fiddle on this part, or there's going to be a big synthy thing right here. Well, it'd be really rad if that was just there. Right.
Yeah, you're like, so I'm just going to play as little as possible because apparently there's 18 other instruments coming in.
Because you can like do the baddest drum track in the whole entire world, and then you can have the baddest bass player playing along with that, but that drummer never gets to hear what that bass player does, and he can't feed off of that. And you can react to that a little bit. It's a little risky, it's kind of fun feeling, you know? And again, to me, it takes my brain back to the story of whatever you're doing instead of just spitting words out of your face.
Yep. Words of wisdom from Brad Sample.
We trying, man.
Man,
Love that. You want to try and give her a whirl?
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, I'm working on a time machine. Oh, just you wait and see. It's gonna change everything. No matter what you believe, so best you make up your mind. I don't care about killing time. I'm working on a time machine. Well, no, I'm not a scientist, just an ordinary man. And I guess I'm just curious, just trying to understand why I wake up every day. Oh, and why I feel this way all the time. All the time. There's something when John Henry laid that hammer down, watching that machine finish behind. Well, he gave him hell and shine like silver ringing out. And he smiled and he died, and I cried. I'm working on a time machine. I'm working on a time machine. I need to see it with my own two eyes. All the stories that they wrote, was it all just a bag of lies? 'Cause these days I've been losing hope. Well, they say that we come so far, but I don't think we know who we are. So I'm working on a time machine. I'm working on a time machine, yeah. That felt pretty good.
That was great.
I loved it.
That was great.
Yeah, great. That felt like a pretty good pass,
Felt
right?
good, yeah.
And then for like super indulgence sake, I would love for us to stand in there.
yes! I'm irresponsible with reverb.
No, I'm not a scientist. I'm just an ordinary man. And I guess I'm just curious, just trying to understand why I wake up every day. Oh, and why I feel this way all the time. All the time. That's pretty epic, man. Something when John Henry laid Well, I'm working on a time machine. Well, I'm working on a time machine.
There's something there. We got
All right, so we're about halfway through the session with Dani Stacy and Brad Sample. We just finished tracking one of Brad's songs, Time Machine, and now we're going to move over to doing a song with Dani. So Dani's showing us some songs right now on acoustic guitar, playing them through for us, and Brad's working with her to figure out the arrangement a little bit and some of the chord voicings. They're just pulling these out of voice memos they have, so I'm super excited to lay these down.
Yes, I'm the talk of the town. I can't figure out those chords.
That's right.
And but it sounds, there's something missing.
No, you're right. I'm coming back in the studio right now to get a clipboard and a pencil for Mr. Brad Sample to write the chords down.
I have the first half of the second verse, and that's it. So it just needs like...
Thank you, sir.
Pencil.
I like that. I like both of those. This is the boss.
The situation's the boss, man.
Well, I'm so glad you asked that because I came up with this, man.
The other one is drop D. I'm too old for this and too young to admit. You could do some gorgeous stuff like adding on to this.
Yeah, if you can play it, I can jam along with you.
I ain't grown yet. The damage you've run from cannot be undone, but it's good use forgiving and better not to forget. And then we rock the fuck out. Sometimes time ain't always right. I wish you wasn't felt so right. Baby, I'm old enough to know that if we don't hurt.
Minor 5? Yeah, sorry.
Yes. We don't grow. Baby, I'm too young to understand. You can't find love in Loveless Oh yeah, that's what we're doing. That's my way. Okay. I'm too old for this and too young to admit that pain comes with growing, and I ain't grown yet. The damage you've run from cannot be undone, but it's good use forgiving and better not to forget. The pain comes with growing, and I ain't grown yet. But baby, I'm old enough to know that if we don't hurt, we don't grow. stretch it till there's no difference. Hope and a lost cause, as patient as I was, but sometimes time ain't on our side. I wish it was, 'cause it felt so right. No, but baby, I'm old enough to know that if we don't hurt, we don't grow. Maybe I'm too young to understand that you can't find love in a loveless man. I'm too old for this, too young to admit that pain comes with growing, and I ain't grown yet. That pain comes with growing, and I ain't grown yet.
Great song.
I've had it forever, and I keep trying to record it. And the feel, because whenever it's live, like with the band, or even right now, it feels right. But there's something about it. So
I think that's one of the things about like really great players is being able to make something that's super gritted still feel really natural and cool. And they're, you know, like it's a skill. It takes a long time to get good at it. But sometimes with stuff like this, like it's just hard to do it any other way.
I
you
know.
Yeah, it's great. This is my favorite kind of stuff where it's like, well, I don't know the song. I might screw it up. You know, like, and I think that's what makes it fun.
I remember being so against like a click track because I sucked at playing along to it, and then I learned.
Yeah.
And then really the pros are you can punch in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can punch in vocals, you can punch in guitar, you can line up to a literal grid all your harmonies.
Yeah.
But when it's certain songs like this, it's like you don't need all that stuff anyways. So yeah.
Sometimes you gotta like take your hands off and just like let it be what it's gonna be. Again, this is coming from like an admitted perfectionist.
Add anybody who's gifted and like it's gonna
always.
level it up, you know? So I think
Totally.
there's just something about people in the moment coming together for
That's what
it.
it's all about, baby. Yeah, you killed that.
Oh, thanks, dude. Great song. Great song.
Thank you.
You guys, that was awesome. Dani and Brad just left, and whatever becomes of this video and the music that we made, absolutely what I wanted to happen of feeling that sensation of music coming to life between two people in a space like this, it happened. I know that the vibe and the feeling and the emotion that happened today is captured in this recording. There's just something about when music starts to move the air around people. It does something to both the types of ideas and the quality of ideas that come out of them. Dani and Brad just shared songs with each other that neither of them have ever heard before. But within just a few takes, they both had a really good grasp of each other's songs. And that's really what all of our favorite records are about. Even the most meticulously crafted ones are still based on getting to those amazing moments, using all these tools to capture something that's timeless. So whether or not you can get yourself to a studio like Blackbird or make music with someone like Brad Sample or Dani Stacy, I highly encourage you to create inspiring environments for yourself for your ideas to transpire. Whether it's adding some holy grail microphone to your collection or just changing the color of the lights, your number one goal when it comes to recording music and engineering a session like this to life is to make sure you're creating the best possible conditions for music to happen. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful and you got a feel for what a studio like this is all about. When it comes to making music, there are no rules, but it's clear that when you bring music into a space that's made for making music, something special happens. And so it's easy to see why making music here is so easy. I'm very grateful to Blackbird for them having me out and letting me make these videos in their incredible space. If you're ever in Nashville and you record music, this is definitely a place to come and check out. Come do a session here and email them. Maybe they'll give you a tour. Definitely try to make this a destination at some point in your life. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe and like. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.